Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
Welcome to Rare Whiskey Day.
You see me, I go Whiskey Vault. I switched it up. The Whiskey Vault.
Whiskey Vault?
Whiskey.
And Rare Whiskey Day,
Yeah.
and 3 whiskeys.
Oh, just 3?
In a row. No, we're gonna do 5, but there's 3 whiskeys in a row that are gifts from
That would have been rare indeed.
Brendan Kite, patron saint now.
Brendan Kite.
Hey, these are tonally a perfect match.
Yeah, they're good.
Wow, okay.
You're good.
Okay, so
just a reminder for those that aren't sure what Rare Whiskey Day is. We often get donations in the Whiskey Vault. Thank you very much, you magnificent bastards. And a lot of times these whiskeys aren't whiskeys that you're going to necessarily be able to find in 99.9% of whiskey selling locations.
and that's what makes them rare.
And that's what makes them rare. So on these days, we collect all these whiskeys, searching for a diamond in the rough. And hopefully if you are near one of these distilleries, these sources of the rare whiskeys, you will be able to find something special and unique and amazing. Daniel's getting tossed around.
You remember the stories when you were a kid of Pecos Bill?
Yeah.
He lassoed a tornado and rode it in Texas or Oklahoma, something like that.
Barely. I think that died with our generation.
Smell this whiskey.
I haven't heard of that in like 35
I don't know why I thought of Pecos Bill, but I think I thought of a desert sand and creosote and what do you call the dried? Anyway, right after it rains.
Right. Oh.
Right?
That's, yeah. That smell.
Tripcore? Petrichor.
You're just naming off words you made up. There's that smell in the air right after it rains.
Petrichor. That word is called petrichor.
He's a liar.
Google it on your
A
phone.
liar and a fiend.
Google it on your phone.
And a fiend.
It's called petrichor.
Like, we believe you, Daniel.
No.
I'd pat you on the head, but because you're bald, it'd be so intimate and weird.
Yeah.
It'd be like skin on skin action.
It's true.
Look, you know what? I'm going for it.
Look, no. A pleasant smell that frequently accompanies the first rain after a long period of warm, dry weather.
God, you're such a nerd. Oh, it hurts. Just the marrow of my bones. You're such a nerd.
So remember, this is Wigle, right?
Wigle.
Pennsylvania, making rye.
Okay.
And they took this rye and malted barley.
Okay. Well, Wigle for me is what has a special place in my heart because I imagine them, whatever whiskey they're working on, they go all in.
Oh yeah, they just double down on everything.
Because this is the only distillery that I can think of that has some of my favorite whiskeys. They're beautiful. And then like the whiskeys that, oh my God, I hate it so much. It's just not for me. It's not for me. Maybe other people adore it. And it's in a single distillery, and these guys, I'm assuming they just put so much into it. They're like, whatever, it is what it is, man.
They are
all
about
in.
dramatic flavors.
All in, yes.
Now this is called the Kilted Rye because they aged the rye in Laphroaig barrels.
Oh, you filthy animals.
And that's why you get this desert air, rain, and dried brush.
Gosh.
And
why did you start with this? This is... You can only go downhill from here. You can only go downhill from here. Like Laphroaig.
All right, on the palate.
What's the category? Okay. That Laphroaig barrel had such an impact. And Laphroaig, for those that aren't necessarily regulars, Laphroaig is one of these Islay scotches, one of the really smoky, peaty scotches you hear about.
Woo!
One of the most iconic ones. And how that translates into a rye. So interesting.
I was prepared to hate this. Yeah. I was sorely mistaken.
Right.
Because it is so dramatic.
Right.
It is so dramatic.
Right.
But
right.
It reminds me of, you know how Octomore took bacon and peat and rich musty notes to a whole other level?
So much so that it turns into like a funky cheese.
Yeah.
On the nose.
This is the the Octomore of rye.
So... in American whiskey, rye is often associated with like big spicy notes. Like the rye spice is something people talk about. In Scotland, the Islay whiskeys are like the big, bold flavors. Now to have a big American spice with a finishing barrel that pulls some of those big, bold flavors, that could have gone so sideways. And it turned out big and bold and spicy. And it's the petrichor apparently is what we get on the nose here.
Now we're gonna do these two side by side. What Brendan did not realize.
Wait, people can get Wigle? This deserves its own thing.
No. They can get Wigle, but not necessarily Kilted Wigle. It's a special edition.
Is it a special?
Yes. No! Well, Octomor's a special edition.
Sorry, okay, Wigle, fix it.
Brendan sent us this. What he didn't realize is Heather Manley is the brains behind this operation.
Okay.
And she's a whiskey sommelier.
Oh, right on.
When she attended our school last year, she brought with her all these expressions of crooked water.
Yeah.
And they were amazing. She is sourcing whiskey.
Okay.
And then having them make it according to her specifications, having them put it into the barrels she specifies, then finishing it how she wants, and then bottling all of her own taste. So she is like Heather Greening it. She is calling all these shots on all the different levels of things that she wants to do. Right? But it's not MGP. She has a contract with Yahara Bay. Remember we tried Yahara Bay in Wisconsin? And I said to you, these guys are trying to become the MGP. They're becoming the source shop, creating whiskey for all these other people.
Okay.
Because it's good business.
Yeah.
And we laughed about that's good business. The artists are going to get really uptight about that.
Right.
One of the people they are making whiskey for is Heather Manley.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So you have the double-barreled bourbon called Old Hell Roaring.
Okay.
And look at the graphics on this thing.
You just like the bear. You just like the bear.
I do like the bear. Old Hell Roaring is a double-barreled bourbon.
Okay. So
Now,
what's on the nose?
You're going to try that. I haven't tried. I poured the other one, so you try it first.
Molasses and brown sugar on the nose of this.
Yeah, dense.
Yes.
It's the dense cherry, dense molasses, dense brown sugar.
I'm going to say cherry third. I'm going to say molasses, brown sugar, cherry.
I totally agree.
All right. Ooh. And those just meld together beautifully. Still, molasses, and then you get this oakiness from the barrel.
Dude.
That's beautiful.
This is 45%. I would never believe it in a million years. I would have bet everything that this was 50 plus.
Like a black tea finish.
Yes, absolutely black tea. Now,
Beautiful.
This one is the bourbon finished in port barrels.
The bourbon.
The bourbon finished, and it's from the smell and the color, I'm going to guess it's tawny port.
Is it the same
Although
bourbon?
they don't say this.
It's the same bourbon.
I think it's the same. I mean, it's made by Yahara Bay, but it's called King's Point.
Right.
And I'm thinking it's tawny port because I get all the almonds.
Sure. Oh.
I get bourbon plus toasted. Oh my God.
The buttery caramel on the nose of this.
Wait. There's something in that taste I've never tasted in a whiskey ever. And it reminds me of a very specific food.
Skittles.
No. I can't pinpoint it. Damn it. What is it? It's on the tip of my tongue. Instantly, I had this flash of recognition. But it is as unlike any bourbon finish I've ever tried.
I have a note so obscure, so worthless. It's not going to help anybody. But.
Damn it.
But immediately on the taste. I'm going to talk about it.
It's heavy almonds.
First, I'm going to talk about the classic big present things, and then this obscure thing that popped to mind the moment I tasted this. First,
it's all the bourbon you tasted in this, but wrapped in candied dessert almonds.
It feels so velvety, rounded, and there's not a pointy, spiky, sharp, hot bit.
You know when you're at the fair and they give you those bags, you can go to the bag of nets stand?
Sure.
Where they give you the little cellophane wrapped, like cinnamon sugar rolled almond net things?
Yes.
That's what it reminds me of. This is... Son of a bitch, that's good. Okay, we've done Breckenridge before, but this is a gift from Nico, and this is a different one of the Breckenridges, a Colorado bourbon.
Nico, you magnificent bastard!
We talked about Breckenridge back on episode 65. I was still wearing other colored shirts. And they were sourcing from Indiana and then blending it with their own whiskeys.
Do we?
Right?
No, how many?
And they were using green rye.
Do we know how many episodes we've done at this point?
No.
We don't know.
They were using green rye,
Right.
And which it turns out after final research is it's rye harvested and before it has time to dry, and it's the harvested grain is still green. You're using it in the mix.
Yeah. Okay. I've been meaning to ask this. Ask this question. Green rye. There's this thing we were talking about almonds recently. There's this thing in almonds called sprouted almonds.
Yeah, which is basically malted almonds almost.
So you can get them at Whole Foods,
Yeah.
And you try them, and it's almonds that have been allowed to grow a little bit longer, and it does change the taste.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been wondering, like in grains that are used commonly in whiskey, can you do this process where it's allowed to almost get to the point where it's so malted, in the case of barley, that it is very outside the realms of what people are typically doing with the malted barley, like a sprouted almond. The almond is literally about to sprout. And then they stop it, and they, do whatever thing they do to make it dry and crunchy and roasted. Could they do a similar thing in whiskey grains?
Maybe. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Now, this is a blend of Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, and their own whiskeys. So it is absolutely...
Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana. Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely a blend.
Yeah.
But I like the nose. Mm-hmm. It's kind of light, bright vanilla sugars.
So this is light classic bourbon for me.
Yeah.
On the nose and the taste. Light classic.
Yeah, closer to like a Beam or...
Whiskey with snow melt water from the Rocky Mountains. I like snow melt. It snowed here once. It was great.
Little bit of caramel.
Little bit.
But so slight.
It's vanilla.
It's mostly vanilla bourbon.
Yeah, vanilla's going to be the main
not
note.
flavored bourbon.
No. It's not so intensely vanilla that it feels like it's artificial. No, it's just that's the main note that's in there. But it's going to be light. It's going to be fairly classic bourbon.
Now we're going to move on to a gift from Zachary Clayton Smith. Zachary Clayton Smith.
And it's cold water. Where'd you get that? You poured it from the faucet, didn't you?
No.
You poured it.
No. Did you know that our toilet water is cold?
I know for a fact that it's not.
I know for a fact you're lying. Wait. Okay.
On an unrelated note, smell my food.
Yeah. All right, Zachary Clayton Smith.
Zachary Clayton Smith, you magnificent bastard.
All right, so he brought Bowman Brothers. Now, we've done Bowman before, but not this one.
Bowman or Bowman?
Bowman. Let's call it Bowman.
Okay. Bowman.
Why not? Bowman Brothers.
Sure. Or Bowman.
So, we did one that they call the Virginia whiskey. It's a different label.
Yeah.
It's actually A. Smith Bowman. Or Bowman. Damn it. It's a small batch is what they call this
You want
one.
to get on the nose?
It's bought by Sazerac. Holy crap, I got Pop-Tart.
No, I got brown sugar and cinnamon oatmeal.
Yeah. Okay, so I got the brown sugar Pop-Tart.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Like the one with
Yeah. So that and the oatmeal for me is kind of like that grainy, bready.
And it's so dry. A Pop-Tart, before you cook it,
Yeah.
right? The dry, you open up the Pop-Tart package and it's got that
And there's
bready.
Yes, and there's a dusting of cinnamon.
Yeah.
A dusting of cinnamon. Brown sugar.
So what they're
Pop-Tart,
doing
oatmeal. Yeah.
is they are sourcing whiskey. They don't say who from.
Okay.
Some people have said maybe it's Buffalo Trace.
Will Buffalo Trace let you sort?
Well, they're owned by Sazerac.
Oh.
So, and then in theory, they're redistilling it
Why would they do such?
and then aging it on site.
Why would they do this thing?
They say that the small batch consists of 8 barrels at a time
Okay.
of 6 to 7 year old whiskey.
All right, that's what I would consider legitimately small batch.
Of 67-year-old whiskey.
Wait.
Just kidding. Just kidding. 6 to 7.
Right. That nose is really interesting and breakfast foodie.
Oh, the taste is identical. The taste introduces like a cherry, a bright cherry note for me.
Damn it. Yeah.
And now it becomes a cherry Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
With brown sugar and cinnamon.
Yeah.
Wow, that's remarkable. I don't know what to do with that. Today has been weird.
So
today I've had 2 things
I would say
that I thought never had that before.
I would say it would be a
3.
It would be a dessert whiskey, but it's not after lunch or after dinner.
It's not sugary.
It's like in the States, we basically have all of these really sugary treats for breakfast.
Yeah, we do. Donuts,
Right.
pastries,
This is why
pancakes.
Right. So it's kind of like American breakfast sweetness.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Dude, today
I like it.
I discovered 3 amazing things in a row. Kilted Rye,
Right.
right? The port cask bourbon, And Bowman, whatever the this is. I like it.
I think, so out of all of these, I think the most interesting, legitimately cool, all-in experiment that could have blown up in their damn faces, the Wigle Kilted Rye.
Yeah, but the one that I'm going to go back to drink just to feel better about myself,
right,
is the port wine bourbon.
Fair enough. The Wigle, the Wigle guys. I imagine these guys are like in college, being that one dude. He's like, I dare you to do this. Yeah, I'll do it.
Whoa! 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 You're like, dude, we didn't really mean jump. He jumps off of a building.
I broke my leg, you assholes.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. They're doing that with whiskey. And to be fair, man, sometimes
it regularly works.
Like, taste is so subjective. It has blown up in my face, and there's a whiskey that, I can't stand it, but then they have whiskeys like this, like, oh my gosh, this is game changing.
Yeah.
I adore that whiskey.
Yeah.
Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight, may fight for a friend.
May you steal a lover's heart.
And if you drink, may you drink with us.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, and drop a question or comment down below.